We invite sensors into our private spaces for a simple trade, giving up privacy for data our conscious minds can't track. By leaving a phone on a nightstand, we turn the bedroom into a laboratory where our unconscious hours are cataloged and stored. For someone living alone, the app is a tool for control. It establishes a baseline of movement, the shifting of weight, the rustle of a pillow, creating a predictable map of a normal night's sleep. On the first night, the utility functions exactly as promised. It logs a few minor movements and a short audio clip of the user turning in bed. It is a benign, useful record of a quiet room. The second night, the baseline shifted. The app recorded a 6-second audio file, categorized as talking. The recording contains the user's own voice, half asleep and soft, whispering 4 words: "Someone is here." They have no memory of waking up and no memory of saying it. In this state of total vulnerability, the mind fails to record its own experiences. The app becomes the only witness to a reality that the person in the bed can't remember. By the third night, the data moved beyond a brief whisper. The app captured 22 seconds of physical movement within the room. The audio trajectory maps a clear path. Careful footsteps move from the door, closing the distance to the nightstand. From that position, right next to the user's head, their own voice speaks clearly: "Don't open your eyes." The metadata from the following morning adds a specific detail. The app logs the user's status not as dreaming or restless, but as awake. The log is precise, exactly 9 minutes of active time occurring between 2:14 a.m. and 2:23 a.m. 9 minutes of talking and moving that exist only in the app's memory. This log represents a physical discrepancy. According to the sensors, the user was an active participant in those 9 minutes, speaking and moving through the room, while the user themselves remembers nothing but sleep. On the fourth night, the user attempted to isolate the variables. They placed the phone on a chair across the room, facing the bed. By separating the microphone from the bed, the user created a physical gap. Any sound or proximity recorded by the phone would have to originate from something other than the person lying still on the mattress. At 2:14 a.m., the phone screen lit up on the chair. The user remained motionless, watching the red recording light pulse in the silence. The audio captured a heavy, out-of-sync breathing pattern. The sound is localized. Someone is leaning directly into the microphone across the room. Then a voice speaks from the phone's location. It is the user's voice, but not from their mouth. It says, "He's awake earlier today." The next morning, the app's diagnostic output confirmed the shift. The status for 2:14 a.m. now clearly reads, 2 subjects detected. The attempt to use scientific observation only confirmed the presence of a second intelligence, one that has learned to use the user's own voice. The most recent audio file shows that the entity is now aware of the tracking process. At the very start of the recording, there is a clear, deliberate whisper: "Tonight, we try again." Shortly after that recording, the application executed a background update. It altered its own operational settings without any user input. A new system parameter is now in place. The app no longer waits for a sound to trigger the microphone. It is hard-coded to force start the tracking session at the exact moment the previous events began. This puts the user in a situation governed by a countdown. It is currently 2:13 a.m. The software is no longer a tool for monitoring well-being. It is now the mechanism that dictates the start of the next encounter, and it begins in 60 seconds.